What's up, everyone? This is Dale from Upstate Bets and DFS. I'm here with my partner Reoz, bringing you guys this 8-game slate here on Taco Tuesday here on prizepicks. If this is your first time joining us, you can sign up on prizepicks using promo code Upstate. That'll give you a $100 deposit match. So if you put in 100, you get 100 back to play with. If you even put in 25, you get 25 back to play with. It's up to $100. They'll match your first deposit, which is an awesome deal. So if this is your first time joining us, we cover prizepicks videos here and player props for NFL and NBA. Sometimes we'll do some. Sometimes we'll do some UFC stuff, when there's a big pay-per-view event. So either way, thank you for joining us. The channel's been growing at an awesome rate. We took yesterday off. We did all the Christmas videos. We hammered NFL for Christmas, NBA. So we just needed a little break from the DFS world. And, of course, we take a break, and today's the day we come back when it's just absolute madness here in the DFS world. There's about 1 million players listed out. I just want to keep in mind that, if we're on someone here in this video, it might change literally 20 minutes later. So I think it's just a crazy day. So we're just going to go through this slate, kind of break it down, category by category. We're trying to keep up with things as we go. I mean, last night we were even on DeAndre Ayton in the Patreon. We posted him up, and he gets listed out 30 minutes later. So we know we got to scramble to make adjustments. So either way, just crazy stuff going on. So thank you guys for cooperating with us, staying supportive. Can't thank you guys enough. I hope you guys had an awesome Christmas as well. And Riaz, why don't you tell them about the premium content we offer on Patreon?
Yeah, on the Patreon, we give NBA every single day, every NFL slate, Monday, Sunday, uh, just every NFL game there is. We're working on a couple things, trying to get just a projection thing out for you. We're working with a couple people, so definitely stay tuned for that. And I know there's only a couple days left in December, so definitely the best time to join is right in the beginning of January. So a lot of content coming out of the Patreon for sure.
Yeah, we're working hard to keep that, as good as we can for you guys. We're trying out some new things. We've been, trial and error with that, but thank you guys who've signed up so far. It's been awesome. So, like I said, we'll dive into the slate. PrizePicks hasn't given us a taco yet. So, if this is your first time, checking PrizePicks out, they do offer Taco Tuesday. So, Taco Tuesday, you'll get a discount on someone like Giannis here. Not hypothetically Giannis, but anyone on the slate will get a taco on their name, and you'll get a tremendous discount. Giannis could very well go down to 20 points tonight, or it could be Joel Embiid goes to 21 points, and you just play the over-unders on these guys, and I think PrizePicks is just like, damn, who do we give the tacos out today? There's so many people in and out. It's so hard. But yeah, let's start in the points category, Riaz, and who are we gravitating to? Like, what games look good to you? Who's in, who's out? What are we looking at here?
I mean, I definitely want to see who they post for Toronto, just considering the fact that everyone's out for Toronto. But I definitely don't mind taking a couple unders on these Philly guys. I mean, Joel Embiid at 27.5, just how depleted this Toronto's Raptors team is. This could be a big blowout coming into the second half, and just the minutes wise, we could see Joel Embiid kind of take a rest here. Same with Tobias Harris, but definitely Joel Embiid at 27.5. Just if this game can't stay as competitive uh, as I'm kind of thinking it's not going to be, 27.5 just seems like a lot for someone who's only going to play maybe 20-25 minutes tonight.
I totally agree, and it's nice to have like these 4 or 5 main guys on the slate between Jokic, Embiid, Giannis, Curry, LeBron. All 5 of those guys are in. It's nice having like at least some studs to look at on this slate. But I completely hear what you're saying in terms of Philadelphia just blowing out Toronto. I mean, it is in Toronto, maybe something. But regardless, like this is a spot where Philly's looking decently healthy, and they can definitely take advantage and absolutely smoke Toronto here. Completely agree. Scrolling down, realistically, Gary Harris is a nice hit rate over the last 5. He's hit 5 of the last 5. He's a guy that I've been on over in the Patreon. He looks pretty good as well. The Knicks guys, they've been dealing with a lot of stuff. Kemba Walker had a nice stretch of some games, and then RJ Barrett comes back, and he comes back down to earth. I can realistically see going to an under for Kemba Walker here. Um, he's just the type of guy that just doesn't get a lot of run as soon as they start to get healthy. I mean, when people are out, Kemba plays a lot and he puts up a lot of shots. But even Minnesota, I mean, they got no Towns. Anthony Edwards is listed as in, so I mean, we don't know how this game could go either. So it's a lot of things going on.
Yeah, without a doubt. But two teams that are fairly healthy. We know the Warriors are without a couple guys, but Denver looks pretty healthy. And Monte Morris, I mean, 12 and a half. We haven't seen him get there in the last three games. We saw that stretch where he was just shooting the three ball, unbelievable. And in a game against Golden State where they're gonna put up a bunch of points regardless who's out there, we know Steph's good for 30 almost every given night. And I believe Andrew Wiggins is back. Monte Morris is just going to provide that three ball for this team and uh, uh, just kind of get 15, 17 points in this game for them. I mean, we know Golden State plays small as it is. They really have no true center with Wiseman still being out, so they kind of fluctuate between Looney and then Draymond, but Draymond's out in this game, so I see them playing very small in this game and having Monte Morris play upwards to 25, 28 minutes in this game where 12 and a half just seems like a good line for him.
Yeah, even right next to him, dude, Otto Porter. He's a guy that's, I'm pretty sure he's on a vet minimum. Has played really well for them so far. No Poole, no Draymond, like you said. Wiggins is back, but he had 19 points against Phoenix. Really good three ball shooter. When he was on the Wizards, he shot the best percentage in the league from deep at one season. Really has a decent three ball. As of late as well. He's hit 2 3-pointers in back-to-back games. He hit 3 against Phoenix. And they've been giving him some decent run. He's getting 29, 30 minutes of run. Definitely a guy that can get there if he hits. I mean, that's 4 3-pointers he can hit and he can get us there. And he's done that, a couple times this season so far. He's done it against Philly, and he's done it once against Phoenix already early in the season. So he's in a good spot, I think, too. Otto Porter Jr. So to get over that points with everyone being out, and then anyone else here in points, or you want to hop over to rebounds?
No, we can hop over to rebounds.
There's a couple dudes here, like especially with all the Toronto news. I'm really want to see who they have in that spot. But who here interests you at all?
Yeah, I don't mind going back to Wendell Carter Jr. We know Bamba's still out. Okiki is now out. Um, like I said, this game could be another blowout. Just considering the fact that the Bucks are finally healthy. They have Giannis back. They have Bobby Portis back. We saw DeMarcus Cousins start to play very well. Chris Middleton has been playing uh, pretty well as of late, but we know Wendell Carter. He got over this the last time they played. 10 and a half just for a guy who is kind of on a depleted roster is gonna get any type of minutes considering if it is a blowout or not. I'm not really worried about his minutes. We know Robin Lopez has been playing really well as of late, but he doesn't grab as many rebounds. And Wendell Carter just being a vocal point for this team, I think 10 and a half is a really good number for him. I can see him grabbing upwards to 12, 13 boards tonight, just pure minutes alone.
Yeah, like you said, he's a guy that doesn't really deal with getting his minutes reduced in a blowout. That's what kind of scares me going to Giannis here at 10.5. I mean, he's a guy that can smash. We saw him go for 17 against Houston. We've seen him multiple times this season have a stretch of games where he was just absolutely smashing. Is he at 10.5 on your screen or no? I just refreshed and this is where he's at.
Yep,
Okay,
yep,
so
10 and a half.
I mean, realistically, the last five don't look great, but we know the ceiling for Giannis. The blowout does scare me a little bit. I mean, they're still dealing with no Cole Anthony, and the Milwaukee has their best three guys in. Probably not going to get to any of these Lakers guys either. I mean, Westbrook, he's been rebounding the ball pretty well, 3 out of the last 5, and LeBron too. I mean, he's hit 4 of the last 5. I mean, it almost feels like LeBron's kind of due for a nice big one, but at the same time, I'm not going to just base a gut pick here for LeBron.
Yeah, I mean the big thing for the Lakers is AD is still out. I would really like to see a Dwight Howard line, considering he's going to be the big for this team. But I can't really stretch. I mean, Houston's just a bad team in general. We saw them get blown out last night. I really wish LeBron's line was around 7, 7.5, 8.5. It just seems like they have to get 10 here to get over this line.
Exactly. Yeah, it feels like they need to, and it feels like yeah, like you said, 10 or 11 to get over. Curry rebounds. Or an under. I think people are sort of interested in here. He's at 5.5. Obviously, they're dealing with no Draymond, but he hasn't hit in the last five. He's averaging 3.8. It does scare me a little bit. Not that Curry is among the elite rebounding guards in the league, but something there is a factor that he can always hit this over. That's why it's at 5.5. But I understand if people are going there looking at an under, and then between like Looney and Porter, no interest in those guys for the Warriors. And then anyone else here, I mean, you got guys like Joe Val here, Mitchell Robinson, some of these guys who are able to go out there and grab a ton of rebounds. I mean, Jokic, even at 13.5, I mean, he's just been smashing.
Yeah, I mean, over 20 rebounds in the last two games. We know Golden State, I just talked about it, has really no true center. I think Looney is just going to get absolutely destroyed down low against Jokic. And not only that, like you touched on with the Knicks guys, Julius Randle, I always like when he's at 9.5, especially with no Towns. We saw Greg Monroe last night kind of have a good performance, but Julius Randle's too athletic to kind of not get there, considering no Towns, no Russell. So 9.5 is not a bad line for him against Minnesota tonight.
I believe so too, man. And over an assist, a couple guys here they have listed up. They don't have everyone up here. I mean, I'm waiting to see some Ricky Rubio kind of stuff here for Cleveland. Cleveland's dealing with a lot of injury stuff, well, COVID stuff, I should say. So, there's a lot of things that still need to get opened up for things that I really like in terms of, people getting more minutes due to people being out. But here, man, I mean, who do you like in assist? I mean, you got Duncan Robinson at just 1.5, who's hit, the last two games, 3 out of the last 5 too. So who do you like here?
Yeah, I mean, definitely Duncan Robinson or Jimmy Butler, just on the fact that no Kyle Lowry tonight. Someone's got to step up for this team and kind of facilitate the ball. I mean, Duncan Robinson is definitely a guy that can do that. I mean, we've seen him hit 3 out of the last 5, which is really promising. And with no Kyle Lowry, I mean, 1.5 just kind of seems a little low for a team who doesn't have their primary ball handler in this game. And we know Jimmy Butler can go out there and get 10 assists any night, especially with Lowry being out. But I think he's got to rely more on the scoring here tonight. We know Washington started off the season very well, but as of late, especially with Beal being out, this game could really go hit or miss. And you're really getting a nice discount here with Duncan Robinson at 1.5.
And Dinwiddie in that Washington game too. I mean, he's a guy that pushed the other night, and he's a guy that if he's at 5.5 would look really appealing. He gets a really big boost. With Beal being out, he had 12 assists going against the Knicks. 2 days prior to Christmas, so he's a guy that can smash, and he's in a similar spot. Going against the Miami team where they're going to need him to keep that game competitive. So, some stuff that definitely still needs to come out. Maybe some Kuzma lines over in the rebounds. It's definitely some things we're still waiting on. But how about Jokic assists? Really, triple double guy. Has looked a little sloppy in those games against Atlanta, OKC, and Charlotte in terms of his assists. But here tonight against Golden State, I mean, could be a really good spot for him.
Yeah, I mean, we know the upside with Jokic. I mean, he's an unbelievable passer for being 7'2", but I kind of prefer the guy right next to him in Steph Curry. I don't know if I'm going to be taking this, but it's just a line to kind of look at. We know Steph's a great playmaker, unbelievable scorer, but with no Draymond Green here tonight, he's going to be the real focal point for this offense, more than just shooting tonight. He's got to get his teammates open. I think with Wiggins coming back tonight is going to kind of take a little pressure off him in the scoring, and we've seen him get over this line a handful of times this year, considering him getting 30 points and 10 assists, but with no Draymond Green here tonight, I mean, 7 is not a bad line for Stephen Curry.
Yeah, and that's why all his projections are up, and then you just see red across the board. Like Curry's a guy that usually sits at like 5.5 here for the assist category. He's up to 7 tonight. I mean, that's just how much Green really impacts the team with him being out. So a lot of interesting Warrior stuff over in the 3-pointers made. I mean, you got 10 guys here. Some shooters, definitely. I mean, Monte Morris is a guy we've been leaning on for a while. He kind of burnt us in that OKC game, but he's in a spot tonight, like Reoz says, where he can hit a couple threes and definitely get over his points line, but threes definitely look good as well. Who here interests you?
Yeah, I don't mind going to RJ Barrett at 1.5. I mean, we saw him make 7 against the Spurs, 3 out of the last 5, averaging 2.8, but that's kind of just on the fact he made 7 against the Spurs. But we know when RJ Barrett starts to get on a roll, he's gonna take them. He's kind of the guy for this New York Knicks team, just in the guard aspect. I mean, they added Kemba Walker. We haven't really seen Kemba Walker that much. They added Alec Burks. He's been really shooting the three ball, unbelievable. And Derrick Rose is out, so I can definitely see RJ Barrett just playing upwards of 30 minutes tonight. And against a team that he'll probably have Beasley on him, if not, no D'Angelo Russell, so it's going to be tough guarding RJ Barrett tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he hit those 7 threes earlier in the month, and then he obviously missed some time between the Toronto and Atlanta game. He missed about 2 weeks there. But I mean, against Atlanta, he shot 8 3-pointers, which looks really good. I mean, a lot of guys that sit at 1.5 usually shoot around like 3 to 5 3-pointers. I mean, he's been putting up a decent amount of volume of threes. Especially in the last 5, he's averaging like 8 attempts per game, which is really nice to see. And you can see it. I mean, he can definitely get here. I mean, he's only shooting 34% on the season, but if he's taking 8, I mean, that'll allow us to get over. Even if he hits 2, I mean, it's nice to see definitely him get over. Graham, have no interest going there. That's just high for me. I know he's got the potential to go out there and shoot a bunch. Not going to get there, and Jokic, not going to get there either tonight. Other than that, I mean, Curry's always viable here in 3-pointers made. I mean, we can sit here and talk for hours about Curry shooting threes, but not a spot I want to get to tonight. And over in fantasy score, a lot of guys are posted up here already, and a lot of guys I think are looking really solid tonight. Who here are you on?
I mean, you can definitely look at RJ Hampton here tonight with no Cole Anthony. He definitely gets a bump in minutes. We saw him go for 31.7 fantasy score against Miami Heat, who is just a great defense in general. But against Milwaukee, with everyone being out, I don't think his minutes are going to be that much of a factor. 26 doesn't seem like a lot for him, considering he does score in multiple ways, and not only that, he's a great playmaker and has the upside to grab 4 or 5 boards any given night when he gets the minutes.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. I mean, RJ Hampton, we've seen glimpses of him last season have really great games. Obviously Cole Anthony took over and has excelled in his role, but RJ Hampton definitely has an opportunity to go out there and really hit the ball from deep, especially. And he's a solid little player too. I definitely don't mind that line. I've been taking Rashawn Holmes unders a lot lately, especially in points, and he looks really good for an under again tonight. He's at 27. Haven't seen much out of him that literally gives me any interest for him to go over here. There's obviously Kings are banged up, but I mean, even with them being banged up the past 4 games, I mean, he's played 10 minutes against Orlando, 13 against Memphis. I see no problem here going under on Rashawn Holmes. Unless something happens out of nowhere and he gets a lot of extended run tonight, then maybe I can see it. But as it looks right now, under for Rashawn Holmes looks good. And anyone else here, man? I mean, Kemba Walker's a score-dependent kind of guy. I mean, the last 5 look good for the over, but with the Knicks getting healthier, if he doesn't put up a good scoring performance, 36 definitely seems kind of high.
Yeah, I mean, and this game could blow out. It definitely helps that Anthony Edwards is back playing in this game, but we don't know if he's going to be on a minute restriction or something like that. But yeah, like you said, Kemba Walker is definitely score dependent. There's other guys on this team. We've seen Julius Randle rack up assists. Kemba Walker's not going to do much rebounding the ball in that aspect. So 36 definitely seems like a lot for Kemba Walker if he doesn't get it going early.
Yeah, I mean, and the stars have been smashing. LeBron has been absolutely smashing. Jokic is viable to smash any night, coming off a 72-point performance, fantasy points wise. Giannis viable in and out every night. Going to those guys is safe because they're most likely 50-50s night in, night out. Sometimes they're a little bit high, but I have no problem if you want to go to any of those guys tonight. I mean, LeBron looks great. I mean, he's just been smashing lately. But other than that, I have really, I talked about the people I have interest in, but nothing else here for fantasy score for me.
Yeah, I think I'm right there with you. And like you said, with the stars, I mean, LeBron's been averaging over 30 points in the last 3 games, maybe even 4 games, just actual points. So LeBron's been smashing, and against this Houston team, there's no one that's going to stop LeBron tonight.
Yeah, and on paper you feel like the Lakers should blow them out, but the Lakers have been struggling lately. The game should could stay close. LeBron I think is a great play tonight over a fantasy score as well. So a lot of things to still transpire as the night goes on. There's still a lot of lines to go out. There's still a lot of things happening. A lot of people who we could have talked about 5 people on the slate that'll just get listed out of nowhere. So we wanted to keep it simple. We didn't want to put a lot of picks here on this video. We wanted to keep it simple for you guys because a lot of things going on. So if you sign up for the Patreon, we'll provide some solid insight for you guys. I hope you guys, whoever signed up so far, you guys have been enjoying it. We're gonna keep improving day by day. Thank you guys for all that. And let's just keep this thing rolling. So, we offer the free Discord in the description as well. You can hop in there and, people are going to be talking about things all night long. So, thank you guys. Let's get this slate going and let's hit some tacos. Peace.